Welcome back. 9 years in China. Hope everybody's doing okay. I've got my Chinese mood music playing. I hope you're doing okay today. Don't forget to watch and subscribe. I'm just telling little stories of things I've seen and done and people that affected my life in China. And right now we've been back in my first year in China. And we'll soon, I always have stories from Fuyong as they pop into my head. But soon we'll be moving to my second city. Today we're going to talk about probably one of the most important people I've ever had in my life. And I just want to kind of introduce you and tell you a little story. Not long after I got to China, to Fuyong, one of my students was telling a friend of hers in Huaibei, Anhui province, about their good-looking teacher. He's such a nice guy, and she was telling this girl back in her hometown about me. And within a few months, I can't remember when I actually started talking to Mary. That's her English name, Mary. But she'd be my girlfriend for several years. We were together for a long time, and I'm going to just tell you a little bit about it, and because you hear me say something about my girlfriend in these other videos, and I want you to know who we're talking about. But at that time, the way everybody talked was on QQ Messenger, and nowadays WeChat, Weixin, is the predominant social media and everything in China. But QQ's still around. QQ's still a big deal. But I would chat with this girl on QQ, and our likes and dislikes, just like everybody else does in America. Now Mary was a senior in a college, so she was, in her 23, 24, whatever, 23, I think. So she was a lot younger than me. Remember, I'm an old guy. But we hit it off, and it was obvious that we liked each other. And so I said, well, one day when you get time, just come down here and spend the weekend with me, whatever. We'll go around Fuyong, and of course I had a big separate bedroom. It was a good place. If you're going to visit me in China, I always made sure that I had a good separate bedroom because I always had lots of visitors. So I told Mary it'd be safe. You can come, you can stay with me, or if they let you in the dorm, you can stay in the dorm. I didn't care. But she came to visit, and we got really close. And I could tell she was going to be part of my life for a while, probably, but love and romance in China, it's so different. And you got to understand, if you were a teacher in China or a worker in China or whatever, if you started dating a Chinese girl, she is thinking about the future. They don't do anything casual. So if they agree to be with you and do activities and all that, there's a reason, whether they will tell you or not. But it's very true in China. You don't. In America, you might go out with Betty one weekend and Sue the next weekend, and it doesn't work like that in China. Not with good people, I don't think. But Mary has started visiting, regular, and we became a couple pretty quick, and everybody was always excited to see the teacher. Hold on, I get my mood music playing again. Everybody's excited to be around me and Mary, not mostly because it wasn't old young, it's just because of American Chinese. And so everywhere that me and Mary went, there was always my students were with us, and we'd go visit parks and go out to eat and do lots of things. And I was really happy having her around, and she would come in every few weeks. because she was still in school. When we first met, she was still in school. She hadn't graduated yet. So I just saw her part of the time, but we were kind of committed, to seeing what might happen. And it stayed like that for several years. She came from a poor farming family, very traditional family, and that's probably what ultimately ended things. Even though we're still friends today, I talk to her almost weekly. And she'd married a boy from Indonesia, and that's another story too. But Mary was a very articulate student of English. She studied English really hard, and being with me, she could hear. She said, "Oh, you're from England. You're from Australia. You're from the South. You're from the North." She was really attuned to the foreigners. She could tell you anything, and I depended on her a lot. Later on, in some of the other cities, I'll tell stories about some of the things we'd done. But she always watched my back, which is what a good girlfriend's supposed to do. And she made sure I didn't buy anything stupid. She made sure I got a bargain on everything I bought. And I was trying to introduce her to more Western food because I can't eat all the Chinese stuff that she would cook. So when she was coming down to visit, we ate out a lot, and so I could eat my style and she could eat her style. But Mary's a really great girl, still is. And I got pictures of us together from that first year in Fuyang, and I'll let you see that. But if you come to China, just remember, though, everything is, China's very modern in some aspects. When it comes to love and romance and relationships, it's very, very traditional. The parents play a huge, gigantic part in what goes on. And like I said, probably ultimately ended things between us years later was a very, very, very strict traditional father. A couple members of her family were okay with me, the foreigner, and never had anything to do with age. I always thought, because in America you see a 45-year-old guy and a 20-year-old girl, I would be a movie star and she'd be a model or whatever. But they always think the worst. In China, it's just who you are, mostly. But anyhow, I'll let you see some pictures, and we'll have more Mary discussions as I go through, this series of videos, because we got a long time to go. But I just wanted to introduce you today to her, and she's a big part of my life for a long time. And we shared everything just like any other couple would do. So anyhow, think about that. If you're what love is like here in America, and what love might be like in other countries, because everybody has a different view of that and what they want their sons and daughters to do. So anyhow, I want you to have a good day, and I hope I'll see you again this next go round, okay? So take care. Don't forget to subscribe. See you later. Bye-bye.